Hello, this is my EECS 1011 final project.
For the first learning objective, the plant watering system is based off of the state of the MATLAB. As you'll see further on in the video, when I click enter on my keyboard, what happens is an if-else loop starts, and it determines based off of the data from the moisture sensor whether the soil is wet or not. As you see in this case, the soil is dry, so the plant is going to be watered, and when the water is sufficient enough, the pump will turn off. As you see, the graph showed dry soil, then the watering process, and then this is the moist soil that is in the plant right now. For my second learning objective, I used conditional statements such as if and else statements to determine whether the plant needed water or not. As you see on the right side, the flow chart given is a briefly described process of how this works. For example, when the system starts, it will check the voltage of the moisture meter. Once it checks the voltage of the moisture meter, it decides whether the plant soil is dry, moist, or wet. If the plant soil is dry, then it waters the plants. If it's moist, it waters the plants. If it's wet, then it doesn't water the plant. And the loop goes on and on. For the third learning objective, we use a function that initiates a graph that represents the voltage readings from the moisture sensor. For the fourth learning objective, I made it so that two values were given to the code for dry soil and wet soil, so that once the voltage was taken from the moisture sensor, the computer itself would be able to decide whether the plant was dry or moist or wet. For the fifth learning objective, I created a graph that reads the voltage for the moisture sensor in real time. For the fifth learning outcome, there's a wire that's attached to my grow kit straight to my computer. The computer then reads the moisture from the moisture sensor and decides whether to give the plant water or not. If the plant needs water, then the MOSFET will send a signal to the water pump and dispense the water to the plant itself.